Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a bigger podcast. Episode 33, Kjerstin. I'm your host, Dr. Anton, and with me is
DJ Spencer.
DJ Spencer. One of these days, I'll have a consistent start. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
It's all good.
I don't have it scripted, so it's just off the cuff every time.
Maybe year two, we'll get it right and consistent.
Yeah, maybe. It's been almost 2 weeks now on the new season and with the new map, and so we figured it'd be a good time to go through it and talk about the map. It like you were saying just before we started recording, it's nice that we have a consistent map that's not changing all the time. Last time when we talked about Grontheim, it was we could only play it when Grontheim was up to refresh our memories. And when you're playing 3 hours a night, sometimes it's the rotation may not always work out based on when you're on and what you're doing. Yeah.
It was definitely like easy to like get the games in and just grind Kjerstin, because that doesn't sound right, but it was good. It was good to like actually just keep going in like easy choices, and like I think I played a couple of other rounds like elsewhere, but for the most part, I want to say like since the season dropped like a week and a half ago or whatnot, because it is Saturday night. It's I want to say like 95% of my encounters have been on this map. So
yeah, same. Typically I would like, I know with other new maps when they first came out, I was a little, I'll try them out, but I wouldn't play them too much just because you get a lot of the sweaty people going into the new map, right? Because it's something new and they want to try to dominate. But I force myself. I usually when I go in, I would like do a warm up match on a map I knew, but then right after that is like Kjerstin.
Yeah, I want to say like I found this very intriguing because it's not an established map, right? And it's new for everyone. It's been a few seasons since we've last had a new map, and it is very interesting to learn the spawn points. And the way it usually is at the start of an encounter, I usually have an idea. It's like, okay, these are the spawn points, and I know like someone at this spawn point is going to head towards this direction, or like how some people are actually going to like act, like their behaviors on a map, given like the locations of like signals or Bard House or whatever loot event. Here it's like inconsistent. It's all over the map. It was very interesting, frustrating. Like it was just like fascinating, and we'll talk about it like later, but like some of these spawn points, like they're literally like side by side. I remember there was one encounter on stream, like we get out of the loading screen and the encounter starts, and the map disappears, and I'm talking to chat and I barely even get a word out, and someone literally ran by me, and I was just like, oh my god, like, and this was one of the early ones, so I had no idea. Like, I didn't move, so they didn't even see me or hear me. So yeah, it was interesting to say the least. And like I've got a couple of times where it's like the person, I guess, either went to get a cup of coffee or something like that, and like literally they're just standing there at the spawn point and easy kill.
The game started and they weren't at their TV or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. But anyways.
Yeah, and I've had that lots of times too. And as we talk about the map, there's a lot of areas that have spawn points very close to each other. So it could be like you'll start and go left or right, and you could run into someone right away.
Yeah.
So, but we'll just get right into it here. I'll bring the map up and we'll start with the usual thing. We'll go from location to location, just talking about and what's around.
Yeah. So a little bit of history before we jump in. So initially, Kjerstin was supposed to drop season 10 Unfortunately, they had some delays. They didn't have everything ironed out and not ready to launch, and so they released it as a shootout map. So which was good. It's close quarter combat map for the most part. Um, it would like I enjoy it. I don't know about you, Doc, but I do
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Oh no, I really like it.
Even before the shotguns got the buff this season, they became more relevant in that mode, anyways. At least on that map.
Yeah.
So since that came about, season 10, it got delayed, and season 11 it was released. But so I found, well, I didn't find on Twitter. I saw one of the original designers who actually designed maps for Vigor. So I guess his online name is Defwen. He
Okay.
actually pushed the idea or created the idea of Kjerstin way back when the game first started.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been
So
like in the back, brewing in the background for a while then.
since 2017, apparently,
Wow.
is when he first started.
Yeah.
He brought it up, and he laid the concept, and it's cool because he even designed the interior of it back then. Now, it like looking at the sketch, it's actually kind of like it looks a little different from what I seem to recall. But it's kind of cool, and it's based off of an actual dam. Like this was known beforehand, like season 10, like War Dog and Christopher Beast and another number of other people, kind of like did some digging around, and like it's based off of a dam in Verska, I believe, or Verska Parada,
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
not mistaken. Something, and it's a real life dam in actual Czech Republic. So the dam itself is real, but like the outskirts or the outlying area is not so much. But yeah, so it's this has actually been in the works for quite some time. Now, Defwen left Vigor in December 2020, so he did get to work on it, but he didn't actually get to see it um, go live type thing. But he did like that is kind of the reason why I saw the tweet was, a number of Vigor partners like tweeted it or retweeted it and replied like War Dog and a few other ones. So it was kind of cool to actually see that, and he had even posted a blog post about how he worked on it, and he wasn't around to finish it, but he was happy to see it come to fruition.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's based on the Czech dam, so it's not one that exists in
yeah,
Norway, but
yeah,
but at least they had, when he came up with it, he had reference that he could use to build it, which is really cool.
yeah. And like the studio's in the Czech Republic, right? So
Yeah, it makes sense.
that's
Yeah,
that's why.
totally. Yeah,
So yeah, kind of cool.
yeah. No, it is. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that, and it's kind of cool to know that they've been working on it that long.
Yeah,
Um, it's unfortunate that they didn't get a chance to, they didn't finish it
yeah,
while they were there, but I think they did a great job with it. So whoever took over
yeah,
did good by it, I would think.
yeah. I think so too. And it's like we talked about it, right, with Fox. Like at
Yeah,
one point, like maybe Deflin was the only map designer at the start. Um, so maybe they have added to the team, which would be nice. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully,
But yeah, honestly this map is like spectacular. Like visually, it is like very very beautiful. Um, I love the different terrain, like the elevations. Like you have open spots, you have like tree areas type thing. It's very cool, very diverse.
it is. Yeah, yeah, totally. And so sometimes you feel really exposed, but then other times
Yeah,
you think there's something around every corner. So it's like
yeah,
it has a little bit of everything for everyone.
yep, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's bring up the map. So there's Kjerstin in all her glory. Um and you can see like around the map, there's the 5 spawns, and it almost looks like a hand in a way, right? Like you have, or a talon actually. I think about it because you have the back claw, and then you got 4. But usually most birds have 3 claws in the front, but it almost looks like that kind of little footprint. That's kind of neat. I never really noticed it before. But yeah, so this is the map. We're going to like go through the locations top down, left to right as we go, just sort of zigzagging back and forth a little bit. You can see just to start, there's the huge body of water in the back, and I haven't tried it yet. I have been tempted. Has anyone tried jumping into the water? I imagine you die right away, but I'm just curious if you
On the
go.
north side,
Yeah.
like the big lake, no, you cannot jump there. There's an invisible wall.
So there's an invisible wall on that side.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I was curious. I wasn't sure what would happen. I was like, "Will you
yeah,
die?" I would imagine you would, but okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
yeah.
But I do know that apparently you can survive jumping off the other side. Someone supposedly has. I haven't tried
Yeah.
it, and the only person I've seen do it died. So I
Yeah.
think that might be
Um,
box by
I,
accident. Oh, no,
I'm
no, that was
not
a
gonna lie.
developer. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I may have been trying to snipe from the dam and accidentally walked off the dam and died.
I haven't tried that yet, so
But
I
anyways,
don't know, what's involved in trying to survive going down the dam. Maybe you wanna try a few deaths on your own to see if you can figure it out, but yeah, the first location is Biff Manor, and it's, just off the almost central north of the, map, not too far from the, eastern, exit there, and it's just a little farm that has, like, a field just beside it. It's actually I've spawned there a few times, and it's a not bad place to spawn. It has
yeah,
some decent, um, loot in and around it. Like, that house, the way it's looted right now is very similar to how those houses on other maps used to be.
yeah,
So, like, if you think of Guest House on Victorson,
yeah,
you'd go in, and Guest House used to be great for loot. This one is very close to what Guest House used to be. You can get a
yeah,
lot of glass and such, but you'll find electronics, fuel, chemicals, food, fertilizer, glass, nails, wire, metal parts, all in and around there. The little pickup truck is really good. It has a
yeah,
lot of loot in it usually. Like it'll usually have some fuel, and electronics, and a couple other things in that little pickup. So it's always worth getting. Brave the chance for an alarm.
yeah.
It's just worth
It's
it.
always
Yeah,
worth it.
it's always worth it. I found lints there quite often too. So you'll find other consumables. And I'll if I found a glint, I would throw it up on a bed, pointing out a window towards the dam, just in case anyone was, you know,
Mm,
up on the dam. They might see a glint and freak out.
yeah,
No other reason. Someone else, and there's also other spawns close to here,
yeah,
because if I ever spawned here and was looting, I would hear somebody not long after. So,
yeah,
um, so be wary.
yeah,
It has a garage. It has a little, um, uh, sort of shed hut kind of thing that's open on one side, one of those kind of equipment sheds or whatever with some stuff around it. But yeah, that's Biff Manor. It's
yeah.
I don't know about dig spots around it. There might be.
Um,
I haven't found any pictures for any yet.
so not that spawn point right next to it, but that next one that's closer towards the exit,
Okay.
like east. So that second spawn point, so the one that's usually coming towards you there, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
there's actually a spawn point along the treat areas, that I know of. I like honestly, I think I know only like 4 or 5 cache spots right now on this, but
Same.
that's one of them.
Yeah. I've been taking anytime I found a Polaroid, I've been taking screenshots. So I have a bunch of screenshots ready to go. Um, so eventually I want to either get them up on Discord or somewhere. All my pics, I took screenshots of the Polaroids and where I was on the map when I found the cache spot and of
Mm,
the cache spot. So a few different pictures, all of where to find a particular one.
yep.
But yeah, I'm at about 4 or 5 right now that I've discovered.
One thing too about Biff Manor. So if you go up the road up north, there's 2 vehicles, and again, you could get like some either just wire and electronics, but you could actually get some good, consumables as well. And then it's kind of cool because like the road's been like blown up, right? And so you could get down there, but you can't climb back up because there's that edge of the map, the invisible wall. So it is kind of cool. One thing I love about that spot though, and I would love to do this. We'd have to like do like some queued lobbies or whatnot. I want to have
Yeah.
a sniper fight across the lake. So because you could go on the opposite side of the lake,
Yeah.
because I think it's like maybe up to 50 meters past like the road on the other side. Um,
Mhm.
so you could have a sniper fight, and it's basically like 250 meters. So I would love to like just have it out and see, just play around with it because it
That'd
would
be
be fun.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
Across that big, the
the
big,
bay or lake or
things,
whatever you want to call it.
crater, whatever it is, yeah. Terrain or something, yeah.
Yeah, don't know what it is, but
No, I'm not sure either, yeah.
um, so yeah, so next we're going to talk about Fjell V in I don't know. I'm sorry, I butchered it, but it is the dam. It's the name of the dam, I suppose. I apologize if I butchered it, which I did. But here you could get pretty much everything, the full gamut, like fuel, electronics, chemicals, metal parts, nails, wire. Like there's a ton of cars on the top, where it's like, we all know consumable tools.
Yeah.
Um, like there's, if we're coming from the Biff Manor, there's a stairwell, that there's an entrance about halfway down, or you could go all the way down and there's another entrance at the bottom of the dam. Or if you want to walk towards the middle has, it's the same thing as the shootout map. Oh, I should talk about it. Compared to the shootout map, it's actually cleaned up. So there's not a bunch of debris. There's not a bunch like construction, scaffolding, and or materials around. It's literally just like vehicles, for the most part. It's all cleaned up. There's like stacks of, you know, um, like crates and whatnot, but it's not like junky or anything like that.
No.
So maybe they did it on purpose to like signify like, hey, we're still working on the actual encounter map. So here's the shootout map, and the rest is under construction. I don't know,
Well,
but
it's sort of the same thing they did with Sagbrook, right? Because when they had Sagbrook as a shootout
yeah,
map, there's all these extra things around it to help you climb up and get on the ceilings and all that kind of stuff. But then
yeah,
when you play Sagbrook, a lot of that is missing.
yeah.
So similar. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So when once you get to the middle of it on top, so it's kind of like an office area, locker room area. Their lockers are valuable. Like anywhere within the dam itself, you see lockers, loot them because you get chemicals, and it's like a lot of chemicals. Like I want to say like you get double digit chems out of one spot, which is ridiculous. And that's one thing about like this map, overall, is like it is worth going into whatever locations and looting because it's a decent map for everything, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Sogbrook is good for chemicals, but it's like Kjerstin is literally good for pretty much everything. It's a solid map for everything.
Yeah, I'm
um
curious how much if that was going to change at all. We'll see, like in the future,
Maybe.
if it's just like maybe it's a little buffed right now. I guess
Yeah,
next season we'll have to see if it stays the way it is. But so far it's really nice.
yeah. So from that locker room slash office area, there's a stairwell that brings you down into the dam. um, and then if you keep going along that hallway, on the top again, where there's like that, kind of like a broken elevator shaft area, that's another way to get down in there as well. And then if you keep going west, that's where you find the metal stairway that brings you down to, the tunnels, which again, like it's redone from shootout, because that used to be like lead to another tunnel that would bring you underneath. But now it's kind of changed a bit. There used to be like a sleeping quarters in shootout. Here it's not. It's all cleaned up.
Mm.
Now, and then on the far side of the dam. There's like a burnt down little shed building. There's some nails there. There's a dig spot right there as well. And yeah, that's where I was talking about. Like, you go a little bit north of there and get the little shootout or sniper shootout going on. Now,
and by that shed is one of the spawn points too.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true. And then there's like another one too, just further down the road too. So you got to watch out. If you spend too much time on top looting, you might get pushed from behind by someone else coming up the road. Now, when it comes to going down in the tunnels, I'm not going to lie. I could feel my way around, but like to actually describe this whole thing, I don't know. Like, there's a few big rooms. Like, there's one that's almost like a gulag where it's like you have scaffolding, or not scaffolding, but like steel
Walkways.
sidewalk. Yeah, walkways. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. But you could jump down, but then there's like a couple of actual like ladders to get up. There's 3 elevators. I believe.
I think so.
I thought it was 2, but you were right. You corrected me. And like there's been at least 2 time safes locations from what I could tell. One of them is like you're basically at the bottom where there's like these giant pipes in that kind of room, and then the other one is right next to an elevator, which also there's been a red crate there as well at that same exact spot.
I've run into the red crate a few times there in a couple of different locations, so it's multiple places it can show up. And the same with the time safe. There's at least 2, maybe 3 locations, or maybe more, that it can show up. And I've only ever found both switches once in all the times I've played it. And I've looked for them. Because it's a really convoluted kind of system down there. I played a lot in it, and I haven't run into as many people as I thought I would, but I have run into people running through it and such.
Yeah.
But it could be a real pain trying to find those switches, and I'm sure eventually I'll get to know them really well. But wow,
it definitely isn't a big or like a busy location within there, because I think a lot of people are tentative about like going in and like running into other people. But for the most part, it's quiet. I find.
No, it is, unless something's pulling people there, like signals or the comm station. Not so much. Comm can go there, and people won't necessarily rush it for comms. But signal is usually quite often on top. That's a good place to rush. Or if people want to try to find that time safe, then okay. That it's a great little area. I have a lot of fun with it. Next is just below it, and it's sort of part of it. Vannkraftverk. And it's sort of the machinery area, like at the very bottom of the dam on the west side. So there's
the actual power plant of it.
Yeah, the actual power plant machinery area. There's a crane outside of it. But it's actually a good little area. There's chemicals, food, nails, metal parts, wires, consumables. I've seen fuel, I believe, as well. When you're in like the big building itself at the bottom, there's some like either side you can find lootable containers, but then just up a little bit of stairs, not to the very top, but just a little bit of stairs, and out to the side a bit, you'll find like a little locker room. Again, good locker room. There's usually a couple of lockers that have good stuff in it. It leads out into a little I don't know if you want to call it a patio or something. It doesn't really go anywhere, but a patio that sort of overlooks the little pool or the smaller lake, right there. There's stairs that and then it has an entrance that goes right into the dam. So you can go into the dam, find an elevator, or find a bunch of stairs to start getting into the main parts of the dam. But the stairs will also take you to the roof of this thing. And so if you're a sniper, that's probably a not a bad little area to try to get in, because it's one of those steepled roofs, so you can go up one side and then it goes down again. So try to get a good lay of the land. Red crate can also spawn up there. I can't remember which section, but there's not a lot to run around. So in that upper roof area, there's a place where you can sometimes find the red crate. Other than that, there's like outside of the building, there's that crane, and there can be some loot on, ground loot, which of the standard kind of station stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
Comm station is sort of on the second floor of that big building. Before you hit the stairs that'll go up onto the roof, there's like on that sort of walkway down and near the end, there's like a desk or whatever, and it has comm station can spawn there.
Yeah.
And then there's also a shed outside.
Yeah.
That sometimes can have stuff, but not often.
Yeah. There's like that control panel type area.
Yeah.
Like when you come in on the far right hand side of that big room, like
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like it seems like every time I've looted that thing, it's like I've gotten iodine out of it. Like I don't know if it's consistent, but it's pretty good.
Maybe I haven't. I was thinking like I've seen fuel and chemicals there, but yeah, it could be iodine in there too.
It's kind of strange because I feel like, sometimes when you see the prompt to like loot something, I find there's like it's a little finicky or something now in certain locations when you're trying to loot. Like some of the lockers, it's like you basically have to be like standing right in front, facing it like squared. You can't be like angled or anything like that. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
I haven't noticed it as much myself. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. And I guess maybe we'll talk about it since it's like right across. So Doc talked about like the little like bay or lake or holding pond that's there. So on the bridge just south of it, of the holding pond, you can get lock container, comm station, and that place, like if lock container's there, and actually it's on two locations. So there's one on the opposite side of the power plant, but then there's also the one like on the south side of the holding pond. And like when it's been on the south side of the holding pond, oh my god, it's been like a war zone. Like it is unbelievable how heated that place can be. It is insane. But it's fun, but yeah, it's very stressful at times.
Yeah.
Because
the lock container, because it's on the south side in our picture here. It's actually on the south side of that road of that pond.
Yeah.
But I've also I've seen, and you might have mentioned it. It could also be on the east side of that pond too, along the road there. And the other day I was trying to get a screenshot for one of the buried locations, and someone was running up to it. I go, "Oh, hey, there's someone!" And bam! It's like, I wasn't camping. I was trying to get a picture.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Yeah. So on the east side of the holding pond on top of the hill, there's a cache spot too. That's
that's the cache. There's a cache spot on top of the hill by some trees.
Yeah. And then just south of the holding pond, I think it's in the picture too. Signals can be there too. Kind of surrounded by like chopped down trees and whatnot. This whole area is like there's high ground all around it, and it is prepared for like long range, medium range fights, whatnot. But like I said, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that sort of kind of reminds me of things like in Fjellveien, right? Like when you have signals that's in a lower area, like by the chopper or whatever, and then you have to go to signals there, but then there's all these high ground around it, and you just know someone's gonna be watching down on you.
Like the one at Old Geezers where you're literally surrounded by like mountain ridges and
it's like, oh man, it's gonna suck.
Yep. It's usually port before I go there to one of those if I have one.
Okay, so that was Vannkraftverk. What's next?
Next is Vista of St. Maiken. It's pretty plain. If it's like there's a picnic area with like the I want to say gazebo, but it's not a gazebo. But it's just like a roof covering. Kind of like on Sogbrook, we have the same thing where it overlooks. It's like a lookout. There's like a picnic table, and usually you find like a webbing crate. I found fertilizer there as well, and you could actually get a comm station there. So it's like a quick little pit stop, I guess.
And I quite often pass it going from one to the other. Like if I'm at Biff Manor and I'm trying to go south or whatever, then I usually go right past this one. So you also could be careful. There could be a lot of people coming from different directions around it.
especially if you want to get down the hill and not take like the stairs next to the dam.
Hmm.
It's not a bad little like it's not that far out of the way, so it's like you can easily like go there for like 2 seconds and move along.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, not a lot of selection of loot around there, but it's not bad. It's a not a bad little
Oh,
spot.
and I should say too, like there's food as well. Like all the forested areas, there's food
Yeah,
to
it's
be
quite a bit
had.
of food.
So. And it's actually like decent amount because it's like it's not like Grandtime where it's like you loot a bush and you have like one food. Here it's like
Plenty
three or
of food.
four. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so next is now this is another one I don't know how to pronounce because it's an O with a line through it, almost like a zero. Store as I don't know, it's like Løgronden or something like that. Apologies. This is the one that's at the top of that really tall hill, and it's sort of kind of kind of like the big snipe spot. Like, but from here you can get a good view of most of the map and a straight view to the dam.
Mhm.
There's a little shed up there. Well, there's like a little. I don't know if there's like I don't want to call it a house, but it's a shed with like a bed and a sink and all that. But then I think there's also like a smaller little shed. There's a picnic table, a flagpole, that kind of thing. Things you can have, glass, fertilizer, nails. There's a weapon crate quite often on that
Yep.
picnic table. Signal can be up here. It can be a barred house. Um, so yeah, it's just a little top spot. I don't know about dig spots right around it yet. I don't think I found any yet,
Mhm. I
but there's
have
quite a
not.
few starting. Yeah, quite a few spawns not far from it.
Yep. Yeah, and this is one of so the one I was talking about earlier where so I spawn southeast of that location, so close
Mm.
to that the eastern exit, and I
Yep.
literally just went down the edge of the map and like there was literally someone there maybe 150 meters away, not even moving. So there's like that whole like southeast corner, like there's like 4 or 5 spots super close. And usually like at the start of any encounter, it's like that's where you start hearing the first shots for the most part. So
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
um next would be plant laboratory. Uh so this is on the far western side of the map. Um, I'm just going to pull up this one for myself. So this one here, you have like 3 main buildings. Um, so there's like the one that's like a bedroom with a kitchen tied to it.
Mhm.
You have the one where it's kind of like a work shed type thing, and then the 2-story house as well.
Yep.
And then there's like a flatbed truck, like an open air one, which has the red crate on and usually some chems. And if I've seen some food there as well. And then there's some actual like containers, and one of them has a weapon crate on the top of it.
Yeah. It's not
And
always there, but quite often it's there.
yeah, like, and I've got weapon parts out of it. There's been a couple times where I've actually gotten or seen weapons out of it.
Mhm.
But that container is actually open, and there's like a little like makeshift bed and like
Yeah.
a storage unit. You could actually get chems inside the storage unit, and
Oh, okay.
I think I've seen fuel in there too. Um,
Right.
so it like this spot is actually like a really good spot to loot. It has everything. You get lock boxes. Um, you pretty much get like the full gamut of everything that you can. So fuel, electronics, uh, chems, glass, fertilizer, wire nails, metal parts. Signals can be here. Time vault. Um, as I mentioned, the red crate was there on the flatbed truck or on the flatbed trailer. Um, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Bard House there, but like it's the typical buildings that have had them on other maps. So
Yeah.
um, I can't say. And
I don't think
uh,
I've seen it there yet either.
but if you're ever lost, if you ever need to get to the exit, there's a stream that literally runs right by there. Just follow the stream all the way to the exit at the top of the hill.
Mhm.
Um, And if you keep going down following that stream, you see a yellow building. That's one of 2 Kafe Lises on this map.
Yeah.
And it's it's another one of the typical buildings. Again, you get lock boxes in there and like a number of other resources like glass, fertilizer. So yeah, and there's vehicles there as well, and there's like a phone booth too if you feel like doing that.
And they feel like doing that kind of thing. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of spawns on this side of the map. Like,
yeah, yeah,
you can see where my little indicator is on this picture that I took. It's like there's a spawn like right at that exit. There's a
yeah,
couple going up to the dam, and then there's a bunch going down to the next exit. So
yeah.
you go up or down from pretty much any spot along here. There's a good chance you'll run into somebody.
Yeah. And this is a spot where I was talking about where it's like I didn't start moving right off the bat and someone literally ran past me. It was
Yeah.
right here. So they must have had the exit spawn and I had the one that's just north of that.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
but yeah.
And that little road, so that plant laboratory has like a gate that goes onto a little road right there, and that road sort of goes south and then curves back up north west. At right at that curve, there's a little walk path, sort of just going up into the trees a little bit. There's a dig spot there. And I've got the
Mm,
pictures of that one. So there's a dig spot sort of in that little dip.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's a long winding road.
it
It's
is.
like I probably wouldn't have done it, but then we're like, okay, we're going to do this math episode. So I'm like, I see a road, I might as well use it and see where it brings me and what's along it. So
Yeah, because if you start all the way up by Biff Manor and just start following that road, you go through the dam, you go by this
yeah,
exit, you go down the little undula, you come back up to Plant Laboratory, you cross that bridge, you go all the way back down again, all the way to the middle sort of far
yep,
exit. That's a long road to go. That'd be an
oh yeah.
interesting video for someone. One we may
I
know.
don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so that's Plant Laboratory. Next is Outlander's Camp. Not a lot here.
Yeah,
This is like one of the few that doesn't have much. There's a couple, but this one, food. I don't know. If, I haven't really done a lot at this one either. I discovered it. I probably found some food around it, and that's about it.
yeah,
Um, don't know anything else about it really.
yeah. It's a campsite. There's like one tent with a fire pit, and it's like sometimes the fire pit has
Yeah,
food, and there's like one container too that may have food there.
I'm
So
just trying to think of any if I run across this and never found a weapons crate there, but I don't think so. I think it's
yeah,
always yeah.
I I can't think of any, but like
I don't
actually,
run across every map, so
yeah.
it's always possible.
Talking about like weapon crates, there's a lot of these POIs that actually have a single weapon crate. So for
Yeah.
like a zero to hero map, it's not too bad. I know I did a couple of zero to heroes. The issue was that I got mostly weapon parts at the time. So
Yeah, that makes it tough.
so yeah. And I think there's a lock container spawn not too far from this location though.
Well, we know
It's
there's
kind of
one
like
more bit on that road, by the lake. I'm not sure where else though.
yeah, it's kind of like between here and oh my god, what's that called? Not Forest Nursery, the other one. So the one
Oh,
that's out in Birdhouse. Um,
yeah,
so it's
L
kind of
L something
yeah.
or
Um,
Lang or Lang. That's a weird one. Yeah,
so actually, are we missing Forest
we
Nursery?
are.
Oh god.
We lost the location. Oh no, we lost the location.
Okay.
Alarm!
Anyways,
Alarm! Okay, okay.
oh, Eplehage, that's the one.
Yes, Affilage. We're
Um,
missing that
so
one. We'll get there.
I guess we'll go next. So Forest Nursery number 193, which where are all the other ones? I don't know. But this one here, I've seen chemicals and nails. So all it is it's along a walking path or trail. It's like a covered shelter type area for like food storage, and yeah, there's like basically like I've seen a nail container and some chemicals at times, not all the time, but and again, this is like close to a lot of spawn points, so you got to watch out. Um, and yeah, because there's probably people coming around. Actually, I had a super interesting fight near here or a little south of here,
I did too.
and we both so we all know how important it is to have high ground in a lot of cases. And literally, we both kept fighting for high ground, and we ended up getting all the way to store Løgronden, trying to get high ground by the time the fight fought or ended. So um, it was kind of interesting. So
Sorry. Okay.
all good.
Yeah. So that was, yeah, and I had an interesting fight at this one too, where um, I was firing back and forth with someone, and I had the high ground, and I threw a grenade, and it just happened to roll down and get my kill, and it's like, ooh, only grenade
Nice.
kill I've had in this one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it did. All right. Next is yeah, Eplehage. I don't know how to pronounce this one. It's a really strange spelling. So, but it's yeah, it's typical kind of house. It has like a little orchard or some kind of field just beside it. Um, in this picture here, it's barred. Just trying to think what else can be around here. I think it has a lot of the typical kind of loot that a house can have.
Yep. Lock
You
boxes.
Yeah, lock boxes. Um, just south of it are a couple of more houses, and around them can be things as well. So there's actually a lot of good areas to loot in and around it.
Yep.
Um, and there's a few different spawns just sort of around like the southern part of this, and just at that exit, just to the southeast, at the end of the road, is you can spawn there as well. And I've gotten in trouble there. I spawned right at that exit, and not realizing how close the exit triggers, I sort of went backwards a little bit, and I saw, "Oh, there's a car there." Went and looted the car, not noticing that it was counting down, and then got kicked
Quickest
out of the
encounter ever.
Yeah, it was like, "Wow, that was fast." Like, "Whoops." I didn't even notice, as
Yeah.
I had no clue. I was talking to chat, and it's like, totally out of it, and like, I'm out of the game? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Eplehage has like, yeah, it's a good loot spot. And honestly, like this southern portion of the map, you could get some like a really good loot run if you just follow like all the buildings along the creek.
Yeah.
Um, like you just keep going, and the issue is like you mentioned the spawn point. So like we were
Yeah.
talking about on the eastern side, there's a number of spawn points, but then if you go on the southern portion of that river or creek, there's a number there too. Like that southern exit in the middle, there's at least two spawn points most games that are like right there at that exit. Um, so it's definitely like trying to make it all the way through all those houses like undetected or not like encountering anyone might be a little difficult, but it's like if you win those battles, it's like you have quite a few buildings to actually loot, and like all of them typically like they could potentially have like those lock boxes, and
Red
like a
crate.
few of them, yeah, in the red crate.
Yeah.
You could also have like Bard houses, like at a couple of them, and then
Yeah, because at
time
this
as
place where we
well.
have on the map, Eplehage is a bard right now, but just south of it,
Yeah,
it's like I think it's like one of those white longhouse ones can be a bard as well.
yeah, and one just north of that middle exit too. Like
Yeah,
it is, and containers like on that road too at one point, north of the middle exit. It's just like a super good loot route if you could manage to survive it. Um, Now, talking about that exit, so the military checkpoint exit, which is in the bottom, the southeast corner,
yeah,
that is a cool exit because like the minute you pass the barricade, there's like a little barrier, like a concrete barrier. That's where basically like the line is.
Yeah.
for the exit, but it's on a bridge. So, did you know this? I found this out. You could still go on the side of the bridge on the grass. That is
Right.
not in part of the exit. It's actually past the
Oh,
barrier. So you could go in there. I don't know how far it is. It's maybe like 15, 20 meters.
yeah.
You could go into the exit and you're not actually in the exit. You actually
Oh,
have to be on the road / bridge for it to
right.
actually count. So just keep an eye out if you ever do uh,
Thing.
go out that exit. Yeah, yeah. It was I found that out by mistake because I was just like exploring and whatnot. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
and then you literally jump over the guardrail and your countdown is started.
Hmm.
So
Looking
it
at those 2 exits, that one that has the military checkpoint and the one that's west of it, that's just sort of a hilly area, almost make me think a little bit of, the 2 top Grontheim ones, but there's no river running down the middle, so that's why it's like, oh, it probably
yeah.
isn't, but they almost match up with the Grontheim ones.
Oh, and that's another thing too. You can't get out by the river or the creek. It's blocked off by logs. And once you get
Okay.
to those logs, invisible wall, and you can't just climb out there. You have to back up a little bit to the Cafe Lise. So that first building on that road, that's Cafe Lise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to back up a bit if you do go all the way to the creek.
Has a
Um,
really cool restaurant sign on the southern part of that building. It has, like,
yeah,
a big vertical, restaurant sign. I think it even has some specials on it, I don't know.
yeah,
But I thought, like, neat little touches, little detail that they threw in.
yeah.
And then the last location is, off to the, other
Oh, yeah,
side, the Jens family Gard, which I'm gonna assume means farm in, Norwegian. I'm not 100% sure, but the Jens family Gard. It's a lot of spawn points around here. It's quite often a bunch of different things. Signals will be here. I think Bard can be here. Not 100% sure on that one, but I think it can. But
yeah.
it is quite
Bart.
a yeah. Fuel, like all the different things you can find: fuel, electronics, chems, fertilizer, glass. Disruptor can be here. There's a couple different cache spots right by it. Like, so there's a little wood bridge right by the southern part of the farm that goes across the river or creek or whatever. On the other side of that bridge, just up a little bit from that bridge, is a dig spot. There's a stone wall on the farm side right beside the creek, and there's a dig spot along that stone wall.
Yeah.
So it's a couple right there, and yeah, those are the 2 that I know of. I know there's another dig spot sort of closer to that exit along the river down south, but that's a whole different one. There's quite a few times where I've, like, spawned near here, gone to that, house, and then I've had, like, 2 or 3 other people
Mhm.
right there, and it's like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
fighting for your life.
Oh yeah, this is one to like, especially when you have any of those like you know loot events or signals or whatnot. Like it is
Yeah,
super busy
magnet.
because it's almost like a central location for like a number of the spawn points.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Um, yeah.
um so on the map we have so there's a disruptor tower, so kind of like just northeast ish to there's another kind of like farm building, basically the same building. This can be Bard House too.
Mhm.
um and this is another like location, even though it's unnamed, it is super busy typically because
Yeah.
literally like I want to say this is the middle of the map, unofficially I guess, officially,
It pretty
unofficially.
much it's well, I wouldn't say it's officially middle of the map, but as far as, where everything sort of funnels in on this map, it's, like, in the sort of the right in the middle of almost the middle of the clear spot of this map or the beginning of the clear area. So a lot of people coming from the hills are gonna come down to like, sort of be funneled into this spot. People coming up from the houses, quite often will see this spot. It's like it has good visibility on both sides.
Yeah.
It, yeah, so it's a busy area, but it also has a lot of good loot too. Like if you're
Mhm.
like you said, it could have lock boxes and everything. So if you're not being chased by anybody, it can be a good area to check out and
Yeah.
and try to get some loot from.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like to note, if anyone sees, if you see like a field of like, I call them strawberry patches, like Biff Manor has them, like run around there, you'll find fertilizer. If you find like garden boxes, usually fertilizer around there, just like little tells for stuff like that. Like we said, for the dam, chemicals in pretty much all the lockers. Um, it overall, it's just like a good loot map. Like honestly, it's a well balanced map for looting, but like even for like combat, it is like super. It could be super busy and sweaty. So all around, I love it because it has
Yeah,
everything.
and you have to be really cognizant of um, timing, because if you're like searching around inside the dam and the buzzer goes off, you may not have enough time to get out of the dam and
Yeah,
then try to get to an exit. So
yeah.
that buzzer goes off, start legging it. Elsewhere on the map, it's not too bad. You can generally get to an exit fairly quickly. It's just I find if
Mhm.
I'm in the middle of that dam, I have to remember, okay, how do I get out? Because
Yeah,
I need to get to an exit, and then
yeah,
not
and
necessarily.
yeah, I definitely agree, Doc. Yeah, my goals are, if I'm in the dam, I'm focused on being in the dam. Otherwise, it's like I don't mind. It's like it looks like a big map, and it might seem like a big map, but actually, you could pretty much make it
Yeah,
to any exit. Like you said,
it's
some
not
of
hard
the
to get to almost any exit from any point on this map, but it has been twice where I was in the dam, they went off, and I didn't make it to an exit.
oh no,
Yeah,
um, and yeah, some of these exits too, you got to kind of watch it because they're very like they're shaped like a funnel, and you have to watch it because if there is someone near the exit kind of watching, it is kind of treacherous because literally you have to go through them. Like I'm thinking the southern one, like in the middle, you're basically going uphill and there's like a plateau right at the exit, and like someone could literally be just prone and you can't even see them until you make it basically at the top of there, and it's like you're a sitting duck because you have no angle or anything.
yeah,
You have the crows, and if you have a grenade, you might be able to get them. But yeah, it's just something you have to watch for. Same thing with like the western exit. Uh, there's a lot of bushes and trees going up along the creek. Even there's like once before you get to that road, on the western side of the road, there's actually like a drainage ditch, so like people could be like prone in there. Um, the northeast exit, so the top right exit, there's actually like some hay bales just before you get into the treed area, and I've actually like encountered people hiding behind the bale, those hay bales, waiting for people to come to that exit. um I haven't met too many campers at the like far eastern one and the military checkpoint one, but um
no.
you know
The only time I've had crows go off, I think, was that northeast exit.
mhm.
Um, and that's one thing too. Like most of those other exits, if you hear crows will go off, you can readjust and head to another exit fairly easily. That western one, if you hear crows there, you may not make it to another exit just
Yeah,
because how far they are
yeah.
from it. It's sort of off by itself. Yeah,
um but yeah,
but
I
I think
think,
that does it. That's Kjerstin.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like it. It's nice to see too that they've added new elements to the map. Like you look at the like farmer fields, like the hay fields. You have different type of hay bales type thing, and you have like long grass or hay growing there too, where before you did not have that. Um, and even a lot of the standard like buildings, they've kind of like done some adjustments to them where it's not exactly the same thing as other maps. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it was
like
fun
quite
to
a
me
few
that they
buildings
added
going
new things.
into, and you'll recognize them from other maps, but there are a few that, oh, it's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all around, it's a great map, and I'll be playing it for a long time to come. I know that.
I don't
for
know
sure.
if you noticed that, Doc, but so collectibles, we never used to get XP. The cassettes,
Oh,
you actually get 500 XP for bringing out a cassette. Well, right now
yeah,
it's double XP, so now it's 1,000. But
you're getting
yeah,
1,000 this weekend. Yeah.
so it's 500 XP to actually retrieve. So not to loot. You don't get anything for looting a cassette, but
Right.
if you actually retrieve a cassette out of an encounter, it's 500 XP.
Yeah, and it's the cassettes are so different from other lootables or other collectibles because with the other ones, if you died, you didn't get them. Like
Yeah.
insurance didn't cover them, at least before.
No, you did.
Well, now, but I think there was a time where it didn't.
Yeah, when they first came out, like season 3 and 4 type thing.
Yeah, well, I thought it was longer than that, but maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, but these ones you can also get off of other people's bodies. So if you
Yeah.
kill somebody with a cassette, you can get
Yeah,
the cassette.
that's definitely new.
That's new. Like how? Okay, so this is like a week and a half in. How many cassettes do you have?
Honestly, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say probably 7. But I
Yeah,
haven't really
6.
been trying.
Yeah, well, I haven't been trying to either, and I have 6 already,
Yeah.
and so there's like I have maybe 4. I think 4 to go, and that's a week and a half into the things. That's
Yeah.
my point is they're a little too easy to get.
Yeah. But like it was the same thing with the vinyls too. Like when the vinyls first came, like you had people just running into encounters and then running to the spots and then like leaving.
Sure.
Because it was the same thing. Like people got like I want to say when the vinyls came out, like the first person I heard was like maybe like 3-4 days in of the season.
Yeah,
Like they were down.
that's someone who's trying to get them all, and I haven't been
Yeah.
trying to get them, and I'm already at 6.
Yeah.
So that's all
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Yeah. So that is Kjerstin. Let's just get rid of that. Let's go back to that. And so yeah, I'm not sure. We have next episode. We're not sure what it's going to be yet, so we'll have a little bit of time to try to figure out what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, because we're not quite mid-season update yet, so
Yeah, so
we
it
probably,
definitely would be near mid-season update.
Yeah.
We have a couple things that it could be.
yeah, we're probably like a month away from mid-season update. So
Probably. Well, because
believe-
it's a really long
yeah,
season 2. It's like, was it 120 days when we started?
Yeah.
So that's 4 months. You'd almost think the mid-season would be like 2 months off. So it may even be not even
Yeah.
next, 2 away.
Oh,
It might
yeah.
be 3 or 4 away. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, there we go. But thanks for listening. I forgot to say at the beginning, like, share, subscribe. And we're trying to get that at the beginning, but here we are at the end.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'm saying it. But yes, like, share, subscribe. We're getting close to 100 subscribers on YouTube. I think we're like 4 away. So,
Yep. Slowly but surely.
Well, slowly but surely, we're plugging away at it.
We'll get that vanity URL on YouTube soon.
That's right. But again, I'm Dr. Anton.
And I'm DJ Spencer.
And until next time, stay safe in the Outlands. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
I've heard you say you lost your way again. You don't see your reflection. Just look around and find it. There's something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want. flame up your dream, flame up your